What's going on, good people? What is going on? This is Big Dash Reacts. I'm Big Dash. This video is going to be about Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's. And the crazy thing about this is I actually thought the movie was pretty good for what it was. I thought this movie was pretty good. And I'll just go ahead and put my score out here right now. If I'm gonna rate it, out of 1 to 5, I'm going to give this movie a solid 3. I'll give it a solid 3 for what it was. It was nothing spectacular, nothing to write home about, but for what it was, a video game adaptation, the movie was pretty good. The storyline was actually better than I thought it was going to be. Now, again, I'm not a player of Five Nights at Freddy's. My kids absolutely played the video game. We watch YouTube content creators play the game, and one of those guys is Corey Kenshin, and shout out to Corey Kenshin. Corey Kenshin had a cameo in the movie, which we already knew about. We saw the spoilers. If you're a fan of Corey Kenshin, you knew that he was going to be in this movie, that he had a cameo in this movie. And again, that's fantastic. Great for the community, and things like that. But again, let's talk about this movie a little bit, and not too many spoilers. I don't want to. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm not going to get into any kind of deep details about the movie, but I am going to talk about the movie a little bit, what I liked and what I didn't like. And again, if you have not seen the movie yet, and you are a fan of that Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, I do recommend that you watch that. If your kids are fans, or if you, like I said, if you are a child yourself, go ahead and check out the movie. I will say this: it is Blumhouse. It is dark. The storyline is a dark storyline. I think that it could have been a little bit more gory, but I think the producers in the studio knew what the audience was going to be as far as the demographics, the age of that audience. So they probably toned it down a little bit on purpose. But I'm pretty sure if there's possibly an uncut version of Five Nights at Freddy's, it's probably going to be a lot more gory and bloody than what we saw in the movie. But again, if you're a fan of all that, go ahead and check out Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, it is in theaters, also available on the Peacock app. And that's where I watched it. I have a nice television, 4K, and I was able to watch this movie in 4K. I thought it was pretty good. Will I recommend that you run out and go and watch this movie in the theaters? I don't think that's something that's necessary. I don't think it's necessary. If you just like being in a dark theater, you like the ambiance, you like the surround sound, go ahead. Go ahead and enjoy yourself. Get your bag of popcorn and go ahead and enjoy yourself at Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, getting into the storyline a little bit. You have the bigger brother who's taking care of the younger sister. The parents are out of the picture. Something happened to the parents. So now the older brother is taking care of the little sister, and he is he's just struggling, trying to make ends meet. Just got fired from his security job at the mall for another reason. And the movie gets into that. It gets into that, and when the opening scene shows him, trying to protect the child from a would-be abduction, or what he thought was going to be an abduction, but it ended up being, the kid's father. But he needed to lose his job in order to want a new job, and that's how they decided to make that plot start. Him looking for a job, down and out, and willing to accept anything, and that is how he got the night shift at Five Nights at Freddy's. Freddy Fazbear. Okay. So the movie goes kind of like how the video game does. You have your first night, a little bit of stuff happening, nothing too crazy. They added an additional character in there, which is a police officer, a little bit shady. But he gets through the first night, no issues. Fast forward to the third night, something happens, and he has to bring his little sister to work his shift with him. And he pretty much says, you know what, you just stay out of the way. I'm going to work my shift. You go to sleep. And, we don't have a babysitter right now. And what happens to the babysitter, that's part of the storyline. Okay. While the babysitter is unavailable to watch the younger sister. He falls asleep on the job. The little sister wakes up, goes to the floor where the animatronics are, The older brother wakes up to screaming, the little sister screaming. He runs out there and sees his little sister surrounded by these animatronics screaming. Come to find out, she's actually laughing because she is playing with the animatronics. Like, they are having a good time. She is being tickled by the animatronics. These horrible, scary looking animatronics. I don't know if you have any kind of fear. You've been to Chuck E. Cheese. You've seen what those animatronics look like. If you're a fan of this genre in this video game, you already know what those animatronics look like. These are creepy animatronics. Nothing about these animatronics say if they tickled me, I would be laughing. No, it is terrifying. So for this little girl to be laughing at these animatronics tickling her, she's a little bit weird too. So, he sees his sister surrounded by the animatronics. The animatronics look at her, look at him. They start to go after the bigger brother. And she says, "Stop. That's my brother. Don't hurt him." Just like that. The animatronics listen to the little girl, stop the animatronics from attacking her older brother. I know. Come to find out, the police officer from the first night is there, and she knows about the animatronics. Super creepy, super weird. So, all right, so my spider senses are tingling when it comes to this police officer. And I'm like, okay, whatever. The animatronics are friendly to the little girl, so they're friendly to the police officer and now the older brother. The shift's over. The police officer is talking to the older brother, talking to Mike, and she's like, "Don't ever bring your little sister here again." Like, you have to say that to him. The animatronics came to life. You think that you're going to have to tell me not to come back here again? Absolutely not. Again, my spider senses are tingling. You can't do that. So, fast forward. Some things happen in the storyline. They push the storyline forward. He ends up coming back. The animatronics now are trying to abduct the sister. This should have never happened in the first place. You coming back should have never been a situation in the first place. But how the little sister gets back to Five Nights at Freddy's or Freddy Fazbear's arcade, or whatever you want to call it, that's where you get the Corey Kenshin cameo. Even more creepy. It just gets weird. And again, by this time, this is already halfway through the movie. You already know what's going on. There's no more mystery, really. And you're just like, okay, now I'm just along for the ride. Let's see what happens. So, long story short, the animatronics want to turn the little sister into an animatronics by putting her inside another animatronic. And right. So he has to save his sister, and come to find out that the leader of the animatronics happens to be the same person that abducted his brother in the beginning of it. So it's a lot. There's a lot going on. And again, I don't want to ruin everything about who that person actually is in the movie, but you get the gist. You get the gist of it. You see what's going on. And again, this is a video game adaptation. For what it is, for what it's worth, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. A 3 out of 5. So here's the thing. If you are a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, you're probably going to like this. You're probably going to like this adaptation. I will say this. Do not spend your hard-earned money going to the movie theater to see this unless you just like the ambiance of the movie theater. Like sitting in the dark, stuff like, do not do that. You can go ahead, if you have the Peacock app, you can go ahead and watch this movie for free, in the comfort of your own home.